People are continuing to return home to Fort McMurray today as part of the phased-in re-entry plan. Thousands of people displaced by the massive wildfire will be assessing the damage done to their homes and neighborhoods as authorities continue to get businesses such as banks and grocery stores up and running. CTV News' Melanie Nagy joins us now from Fort McMurray. Again, we find you, Melanie, at a re-entry area. Tell us what's happening today.
Well, yesterday Zone 1 went home, and those were people living in the downtown core, and they estimate that about 14,000 people live in that area. Where I am now, this is Zone 2, and it's estimated that up to 40,000 people live in this area, and it's quite spread out. There's apartments, there's townhouses, there's single dwelling homes, there's businesses, so it's quite a large area. So the expectation is today there'll be an increased amount of traffic in this area, more people in the downtown core, and they are expecting more people to return. For those people who've already gone home, yesterday it was quite an emotional day. A lot of people glad to be back. So today more people expected, and they'll be going home to see what state their home is in, if there's any smoke damage, and they'll also, as you mentioned, be looking at their community, because this is still a place that it's not a fully operational city at this point.
It was great to see that firefighters greeted those returning to their homes yesterday, but clearly something like this takes a team. It takes a lot of planning so that this can run smoothly. Who else is involved as people make their way back home?
There are so many people involved in this re-entry process. And for example, we spent part of our day yesterday with just a small part of a crew that's a part of this overall response, a utility crew, a gas company. We went with them. Their job, for example, they have to get gas back to 20,000 customers. So there's so many different levels. You have emergency responders, you have different utility groups, you have businesses, you have city officials. All of these different organizations are working together and have been for weeks now on this re-entry plan. I mean, this is something they've been working hard at, and so far it's been going relatively smoothly. That's what officials say, but there's still several days to go, and as we know, not everyone will be able to go home through this re-entry process. We know that there are some communities that are just too damaged. Even if their home has been undamaged by the fire, they won't be able to return because it's just too dangerous at this point. So this will still be a lengthy process and will require continued cooperation.
Yeah, and that has been echoed by Rachel Notley, who said, yes, it's going to take patience, and it's not a matter, of days, it's a matter of months and sometimes years in some cases for things to get back to normal. What about air quality? We had heard that it needed to be about a 3 for pregnant women, kids under 7 to return. What's the situation now, Melanie?
Right now, where I am, for example, it's a nice chilly morning. I don't smell any smoke in the air, but when we were driving into town this morning, there was fog and lower clouds, so you could really smell smoke. So it changes and it varies, but one thing that officials have been saying is that they're monitoring that throughout the day, and they're going to keep updating residents as to where the air quality is at, and they'll put out alerts. And also what I'm finding is that for some people who have respiratory issues, or as you mentioned, pregnant women, some people are just not returning at this point because it's, they're just taking their health considerations first. And until, some people might not return for a couple weeks just because they want to take care of themselves. They're a bit worried about the air quality in the situation here.
Melanie, thanks for your excellent reporting. Appreciate it.